reaction. Soon's been producing really good unit compositions. He just been caught out of position a few times with his tanks. He probably needs to go a little bit heavier on the metal to counter this heavy ground army. But Soon has been on top of things so far, so I'm looking forward to see what the next move is as both these players macro up.
Now, I just want to make a quick point that love that planetary fortress. It's very, very handy. I mean, that saved that expansion there. Absolutely brutal, especially with those SCVs. Now Boo's actually got his Spire coming up now, so we might expect to see, well, some anti-air counter here. I mean, maybe to get rid of these Banshees, to get rid of these Ravens. I mean, Mutalisk could actually smash those tanks if he can get those Marines out of the way, which there isn't actually very many Marines, so quite a heavy Marauder siege tank army. So, he could actually be caught out here if he gets enough of these air units.
Yeah, and the composition is really starting to favour Boo. He's going for Roaches and Hydras, which share the same upgrade trees. So he's got 1-1 Roach Hydra versus unupgraded tanks, Marines, Marauders. So there is a lot more tanks now, which is really what Soon needs to do if he's going to put this pressure on. He has tried to take another base himself, but Boo very nicely has had a Zergling in place to try and identify this. So this command center is not able to land, and Soon's going to need to send some Hellions or a couple of Marines to take out that Zergling so he can land it in place. But I imagine if Boo sees that, he's going to send something to take that out. Right now, we're just seeing, though, this big standoff as these siege tanks go to work, and this strong point again with this very nice ramp positioning for Terran is just going to be a nightmare for Boo to crack. We are seeing a pretty nice unit composition, heavier tanks, but now that Mutalisks are going to work on these tanks, probably trying to pave the way for the Roach Hydras to go in. The Mutas do snipe one tank. The Marines are trying to do something about it, but the Mutas will take out 2 tanks. So it's a nice investment from there. Boo's going to lose the rest of his Mutas, but that's really paving the way for this Roach Hydra ball. There's more Mutas on the way, and the Roaches and the Hydras are starting to commit to this attack. Soon has got the backup tanks on the back of this ramp, but there's just so many Roaches and Hydras. The Marines and Marauders are going to work, but the Hydras are just kicking in now. Most of the damage has been taken by the Roaches who have that bonus armor, and the Roaches are just being melted, but the Hydras are still in place. This looks very even. Boo's starting to melt here, but his macro's kicking in with reinforcements. This battle is just off the hook. There's just a line of Hydras now. These are very vulnerable to these siege splash tanks. These siege tanks are going to start racking up the kills, but his line of Marine Marauder balls is down, so the siege tanks are going to go. There's Vikings coming in. They're not going to be much help against these remaining remaining Hydra Roach, and this Planetary Fortress once again will hold the line. It's just such a tough nut for a Zerg player to crack. He really needs a huge amount of units to be able to do it, to be able to melt the SCVs while taking the splash damage from the Planetary Fortress. Or Boo might be thinking about a tech switch into Broodlords if he goes for the Advanced Spire and a Hive here, so that he can outrange this Planetary Fortress and take out these units. Those Mutas will take the Planetary Fortress down really nicely if these turrets can be taken out of the way, because Planetary Fortresses can only shoot ground. But we are seeing Boo move out with his Hydra Roach ball here, but there is a few Marine Marauders on the way from Soon, but this ball of Hydra Roaches are going to town here, and I think they're going to be in a strong way. It's going to be a case of whether or not this Planetary Fortress can hold the line with so many SCVs repairing it.
Oh, I love this Planetary Fortress. 21, 22, 23 kills. He's single-handedly destroying this Zerg army. I absolutely love it. I mean, these Hydras taking off the reinforcements is going to knock out this siege tanks, and really going to maybe go for the actual other expansion. Maybe wisely, actually, considering there's not a giant Planetary Fortress there to block them off. They will be pushed back, though, but that Planetary Fortress, what a beast.
Yeah, the Planetary Fortress really held the line nicely there for Soon. Meanwhile, though, Boo has got 2-2 upgrades on his Hydras. So those Hydras, even though they're very vulnerable to siege tanks here, when he did that little assault with his Hydras were able to take a little bit more damage there before going down. So now he's denying this gold expansion for Soon, and Soon is seeing the massively saturated gold expansion for Boo. And if Boo can keep his gold expansion alive and prevent Soon from taking that out, and while he's denying Soon's gold expansion, he's just in a very strong position. Soon is only just now getting that third expansion online after it was denied by that Zergling scout. So Soon is starting to find himself a little bit against the ropes here. Even though his Planetary Fortress held the line, there's these Roach Hydra balls, which he isn't coming up really with a counter for. He needs to go heavier mech, or come up with some kind of composition that will stand up to it a little bit more. He doesn't have too many upgrades, as looking at his Marine Marauder Ball. They're still 0-0, and they're coming up against 2-2 Roach Hydras, so that's going to end badly. Here we are, this wall for the gold expansion here. Roaches coming in first, a little bit faster than the Hydras there, but the Viking Marauder Ball is just getting absolutely melted. These Vikings wisely opting to flee as the Hydra Roaches go to work and absolutely decimate that unit composition there for Soon, who was caught a little bit out of position. He really needed his tanks to support there, and he just wasn't in the place for it. And he has given up on this strong point outside Boo's expansion. So I imagine that Boo's superior macro with that saturated gold expansion is really going to kick in here, and he's going to make this frontline assault on the base.
The massive fight happening in front of the natural expansion. So many Hydras going down, being reinforced. These Vikings just flying over there, not really doing much. There's nothing really to fight there, but these Hydras, I think, might be able to take out this Terran army. They're not so tough without that planetary fortress. I mean, they're really kind of going to town now. These siege tanks trying to get in, not going to do anything. I mean, he's really lost his whole army there, and these Hydras just going to smash this orbital command. Too little too late. They need to evacuate